All right, thanks for joining. In the last episode, we went through how to replace a gas filter. I knew that this one was older. It does look like it's probably as old as the bike is itself, and so we replaced that, which is always good to do. One item I did mention was my rear brake being extremely loose. Happy to report that is not the case anymore, and I kind of want to go through all of what I did to be able to get that corrected. Also today we're going to go ahead and take a look at my front brake because I'm almost 100% certain there is no front brake pad anymore. So, elephant in the room, I did purchase a lift. I'm super excited to be able to use this. I think this is going to be a great addition to be able to help me kind of do all the work I want to do without laying on the ground and wearing my back out. So let's get this bike up in the air and we will go through how I fixed the rear brake and start looking at the fronts. All right, we got her up on the lift. Anybody that's curious, this is a quality lifts. Obviously it's made in China. I believe the distribution's out of like Kentucky. Saw this on Facebook Marketplace. We came to a deal and yeah, super excited to have this lift. But going to the brakes. So like I was mentioning, this brake here would go all the way. You can see it in my last video, and I want to explain how I fixed that. First thing I did, which is like your number one mistake, and I know better, but I did it anyways. I bought parts and threw parts at it. The parts that I bought a new right here, so you can't really tell, but right back in here, up there, there's a master cylinder. Took that all apart, put a new one, still had the same issue. I purchased a whole new rear assembly here. I haven't installed it, thinking that maybe it just was an issue with the bleeding, but it turned out not to be. So the actual issue is right down here. So this guy right here, there's a nut right here. You push this forward and you adjust this nut, and that puts the proper tension on the brake lever to make it so you don't have so much play. Extremely simple. You know, I wish I could say that I'm a genius and I figured this out on my own, but I actually kind of have a smoking gun, and that smoking gun is this guy. So this is the actual service manual for the Honda Big Ruckus. This is the 2005 version. Lucky enough, they didn't change anything, so it's the same thing. In here, on page, I think it's 17.4 or 417. Bet you it's 417. Yeah, 417. It actually explains these steps for, you know, rear combined brake lever free play, and goes through right here how to adjust. Obviously, we're not going to read through that, but I followed the directions and go figure I fixed it. One thing I did learn, it makes a very weird noise in the front when you brake. And the reason for that, and I don't believe I'll be able to get this on camera, is inside here, yeah, you can't really see them, but back about there is your brake pads, and the reality is that there's none left. So what we're going to do today, we are going to take this assembly out and we're going to put some new front brake pads on the front brake to get this working properly. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so not going to claim to be an expert when it comes to brakes. I have personally never done brakes on a Honda Big Ruckus. So, you know, my failures and mistakes you'll learn from and do them better than I do in the future. But from my understanding, this right here is holding the actual brakes on right here. The one thing to keep note, so back in here you have calipers, right? So you want to be able to compress this to push those calipers back in. That's going to do you a favor from them falling out. Hopefully I did it right. You know, I did feel some movement. There is some wiggle to this thing. So I think I got them back in place, which is good to see. So we're going to take this off here. This is an 8mm. And we'll see what we have. My assumption is that these should drop. I should be able to pull them out, and I should be able to replace them with new ones. But I have never done this before, so we'll learn. Yeah, just like that. And there's still some break on here. I don't know if I can, you know, they look a little old, right? So that's okay. So yeah, we'll go ahead and replace these. Hopefully that gets rid of my noise. And then this one should be a little bit trickier. Like so. Yeah, there we go. I don't have originals. Interesting story on the originals is they are really hard to come by. I think they're like a 200-day wait. So what I have are the Malassi. I think you're saying that right, Italian. We're going to put these in, and hopefully that'll work just fine. So I'm going to rip these guys out, and then we'll try and put them in from there. In here, so my calipers are set back, which is awesome. I'm going to take this, I'm going to slide it in, right? So it's going to be in there, and then try and hit that pin right back there so that it stays in place. So yeah, wish me luck. We'll see. How's that view? Not the greatest. I apologize, I can't get any closer, but let's see if, yeah, like so. It's springy, so I know that I hit the spring, which is what you want. Yeah, we'll try and do the back. Like, starting to wonder if I missed something, but I don't think so. I'm probably making it more difficult than it really is. But yeah, I'll be right back, and I'll explain what I did once you figure it out. All right, I figured it out. I'm just not smart. I was putting it in the wrong way, so I had the brake pad sitting like this against the rotor, which is why I was having so much difficulty. I also took the front one out just to make sure I wasn't crazy. There I go, doing it again. But we got it. Yeah, definitely makes it a little harder when you have the back one in. But we'll get it. We will get it. There we go. Done. That lined up. Done. That through and tighten it. And if we did this right, I shouldn't have to bleed the brakes, which would be a huge win, considering I've done that 5 times off camera trying to figure out my back brake originally. Get this tightened. It's only supposed to be about 13 foot-pounds, so you don't have to go wrenching all crazy on it. But yeah, let me pull on the front brake and see what we feel. Oh yeah, feels great. So yeah, we'll bring the bike down and we'll recap. All right. All right, so I got the bike back down. I'll be honest, replacing those pads was extremely easy. I'm pretty happy with how quickly I was able to swap those out. So definitely nice. Hopefully you learned something on how to do brakes. I mean, in a lot of ways, this is universal knowledge on any scooter that you own. You know, the brake might be a little bit different, but it's really the same thought process throughout. So hopefully that helps you when, you know, you're a little gun shy to want to do something on your own. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of ambition to be able to do it. Like I said, I've never done these before. I don't claim to be an expert, but definitely was easier than I thought. Obviously, we'll have to go on a test drive and make sure. One thing that was weird about my front brake is it made a very, very weird noise anytime you braked, like a zzz noise. So why I thought the brakes were bad, I'll be honest, I mean, looking at these pads, I don't know that they're really that bad. I might post some pictures of what the stock pad looks like, because these do look different than the stock pad. The stock pad has like 4 pads as opposed to just 2. So these are not stock. These are aftermarket, which is totally fine. But I would say that's plenty of pad left. You know, a little bit of pitted, but again, I'd say that's kind of normal. So yeah, not sure what that noise is. Hopefully it goes away. We'll go ahead and test, take it for a test spin, make sure I can stop and all that good stuff. But with the front brake and the rear brake fixed, I have a lot more confidence taking this bike out on the road. There's a few more items that I have to do on it yet. One of them is completely self-inflicted that I have to go back and fix, and we'll talk more about that. That's back in the transmission when I get to that, just waiting on a part. Also, we'll be swapping out these tires. These tires, the front tire is actually smaller than what the recommended is, and it just feels a little loose. You know, you look at the tread on that guy, let me straighten out the camera, as opposed to, you know, Agent Orange here, that, you know, definitely has a lot more ruggedness, and you just feel sturdier on the road with the orange bike. But nothing we can't fix. So, yeah, that'll do it for today. You know, thank you for joining and going through the journey. I hope you learned something. If there's anything that you feel that I did incorrect or could have done better, you know, I'm always up for, you know, anybody's opinions and comments and, you know, professional advice, so on and so forth. So please, by all means, drop a like, you know, hopefully you'll subscribe, and, you know, share a comment. Help me learn and be better, so I can help all of you. Awesome, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.